Have you ever pictured the ocean as a quiet, peaceful place? A silent world beneath the waves? Well, think again. The ocean is getting louder, a lot louder, and this hidden crisis is dramatically changing life for the creatures that call it home. This isn't just a bit of extra noise. It's a global problem that we're only just beginning to understand. To really get why this is such a big deal, you need to know one key fact. Sound travels incredibly well underwater. On land, a shout might travel a few hundred feet. Underwater, that same sound can travel for miles. In fact, sound moves about 4 times faster in water than it does in air, and it can cover vast distances with surprising clarity. This is fantastic for marine animals that have evolved over millions of years to use sound for everything. But it's a disaster when we introduce our own noise into their environment. Human-made noise or anthropogenic noise doesn't just fade away. It travels, bounces, and blankets huge areas of the ocean, creating a kind of acoustic smog that many animals can't escape. So, where is all this noise coming from? The biggest culprits are the giants of our global economy, massive cargo ships. There are tens of thousands of them crisscrossing the oceans at any given moment. Each one is essentially a floating factory with huge engines, propellers, and machinery that generate a constant low-frequency roar. This hum has effectively raised the ocean's background noise level significantly over the past few decades. Then you have the search for resources, like oil and gas exploration. This involves using powerful air guns that fire intense blasts of compressed air toward the seabed every 10 to 15 seconds, for days or even weeks on end. These blasts are among the loudest sounds humans put into the ocean. Add to that the construction of offshore wind farms, the high-frequency pings of military and commercial sonar, and even recreational boats, and you have an ocean that is no longer a world of natural sounds, but a chaotic industrial soundscape. Now, let's talk about who's most affected. Think about the largest animals on the planet, whales. Whales are incredibly social and intelligent creatures that rely on sound for almost every aspect of their lives. Baleen whales, like blue whales and fin whales, produce powerful, low-frequency calls that are designed to travel hundreds, sometimes thousands, of miles across entire ocean basins. This is how they find mates, communicate with their pods, and navigate their long migrations. But the low-frequency rumble from shipping traffic occupies the exact same acoustic channel as their calls. It's like trying to have a whispered conversation right next to a highway. The whales' voices are being drowned out. To cope, some are forced to shout, singing louder and at higher pitches, which uses up precious energy. Others may simply miss calls from potential mates or get separated from their groups, leading to isolation and reproductive failure. It's not just the gentle giants who are suffering. Dolphins, porpoises, and other toothed whales are masters of echolocation. They emit a series of high-frequency clicks and then listen for the echoes that bounce back. This incredible biological sonar allows them to create a detailed mental picture of their surroundings, helping them find fish, avoid obstacles, and navigate in complete darkness. But intense underwater noise, especially from sonar systems, can interfere with this delicate process. It's like shining a blindingly bright, strobing light in their eyes while they're trying to hunt. This interference can mask the faint echoes from their prey, making it harder for them to find food. In some cases, extremely loud sounds can cause temporary or even permanent hearing loss in these animals, effectively leaving them deaf and disoriented in their own homes. And what about fish? We don't often think of fish as being particularly vocal, but sound is critically important for them too. Many species of fish use grunts, croaks, and pops to attract mates, defend their territory, and warn others about nearby predators. The larvae of many reef fish, which start their lives in the open ocean, actually listen for the sounds of a healthy reef, the clicks of shrimp, and the calls of other fish to find their way to a suitable home. But constant background noise can mask these vital auditory cues. It can stress fish out, disrupting their feeding habits and making them less likely to reproduce. Studies have shown that when exposed to boat noise, some fish become more vulnerable to predators because they can't hear them approaching. The very fabric of their social and survival behaviors is being torn apart by the noise. The long-term consequences of this are becoming clearer, and they're deeply concerning. Just like people might move away from a noisy neighborhood, some marine species are actively avoiding historically important habitats that have become too loud. We're seeing whales change their migration routes to steer clear of busy shipping lanes, and fish populations decline in areas with heavy industrial activity. For animals that can't move, like corals or anemones, the constant stress from noise can impact their growth and reproduction. For those that stay, they face a daily struggle to be heard, to find food, and to simply survive in an environment that has become hostile. This isn't just about a few animals being annoyed. It's about the potential collapse of entire ecosystems as fundamental behaviors are disrupted on a massive scale. Perhaps the most dramatic and tragic evidence of noise pollution's impact comes from mass stranding events. On several occasions, groups of whales and dolphins have mysteriously beached themselves shortly after naval exercises involving high-intensity, mid-frequency active sonar. Scientists believe these powerful sonar blasts are terrifying and disorienting for deep-diving species like beaked whales. The sound can be so painfully loud that it triggers a panic response, causing them to surface too quickly, which can lead to a condition similar to the bends in human divers. The intense sound waves can also cause direct physical injury to their sensitive hearing organs, leaving them unable to navigate and ultimately leading them to strand on shore. These events are a stark and horrifying reminder of the lethal potential of underwater noise. So what can be done? The good news is that this is not an unsolvable problem. Unlike chemical pollution, which can linger for centuries, noise pollution stops the moment you turn off the source. Scientists and engineers are already working on solutions. For shipping, one of the most promising areas is designing quieter propellers that create fewer bubbles, a process called cavitation, which is a major source of noise. Developing slower steaming ships or creating designated quiet corridors away from sensitive habitats could also make a huge difference. For seismic surveys, an alternative technology called marine vibrosays, which uses a gentler, continuous vibration instead of explosive blasts, is being developed. However, the adoption of these technologies is slow, often hampered by cost and a lack of international regulation. To push for these changes, we first need to understand the full scope of the problem. That's where a new field of science comes in: underwater acoustics. All over the world, scientists are deploying networks of underwater microphones, called hydrophones, to listen to the ocean soundscape. These listening stations are capturing the sounds of whales, the rumble of ships, and the blast from air guns, creating a massive library of ocean sounds. This data is absolutely crucial. It allows us to map the noise hotspots, monitor how noise levels are changing over time, and directly measure the impact on marine life. The data we have so far is alarming, showing that in some areas, background noise has doubled every decade for the past 40 years. This evidence is what we need to convince governments and industries that a quieter ocean is a healthier ocean. As our world gets busier, the silent world of the ocean has become a casualty. The symphony of natural sounds that has guided marine life for millennia is being replaced by a cacophony of human industry. This invisible pollution is restructuring marine ecosystems from the top down, from the largest whales to the smallest larvae. We have the knowledge and the technology to reduce our acoustic footprint and give the ocean back its voice. The question is, will we choose to listen and act before the silence we imagine becomes a permanent empty one? The health of our oceans and the incredible creatures within them depends on our answer. Thank you for watching. If you found this important, please share this video and subscribe for more content about our planet.